Welcome to Budget Model Railways, and today we're back on the micro layout, but for a change we're on steam because I have the excellent Kato pocket line range, so why not? I would say the usual caveat: as soon as I start pressing record, everything goes wrong. This is actually the third take of this. First time I forgot to change a point, second time I wasn't on the right setting on the camera, and the wagons will derail and the locos will run poorly as soon as you press record. It's just one of those things. So you should be familiar with this layout. If you've not seen them before, then please scroll back through the videos. It's a micro layout. It is only, let's have a little look, I should know by now, 11 inches by 22. So that's quite narrow. In fact, the track is only 9-inch diameter. Which is smaller than most, and it's built using FlexiTrack, but the Kato pocket line stuff will go around it very happily as it happens. So it makes it a very compact little layout. And I did it, if you've not seen it, I did it autumnal. I thought it would make a change, which is why we've got the colours we've got. So let's have a little look at this locomotive first. If I can make the zoom work, there we go. Excuse that, there we go. So this is the one that Kato did, very posh. Got the black lined locomotive there, and you've also got the very smart coaches. These were a bit of a premium price when they first came out. They're available from time to time. I think occasionally now they're about £70, but they're still not a lot of money for a very nice little steam engaged steam loco and a couple of nice coaches. Now obviously with all this Kato pocket line steam trains, the motor is actually in here, and that'll be relevant in a minute when we do shunting. So it's very clever. Now this locomotive I bought second hand, and after a couple of years I realised it just wasn't running as well as that one, and it's because it got the older motor in it. Relatively simple, 20 quid. You buy the new supermodel loco chassis. I'm talking rubbish here. You buy the new Kato pocket line chassis, the one with the rails on the end, for about 20 quid, and it clips straight in. Problem solved. So what we're going to do is we're just going to run that one back into the station. We're running this layout today this way round. I have been enjoying running it the other way round, but it does make the controller a little cack-handed because it was designed controllers this end, and I like to shunt with using my right hand to uncouple and my left hand to work the controller, and it was a bit cack-handed the other way round. Quick shout out to a couple of people. Andrew Clayton, who's making a wonderful layout, and he was asking about where to put controllers, and this one is vertical, which saves you some room. And I'd also like to do a shout out to Utility Branch Line, which is on Instagram. Very clever guy, absolutely about what Budget Model Railways is about. Had nowhere to put a model railway till he looked in his house and he had a U shape around his washing machine and his dishwasher, etc., and he's built a double O gauge layout on that. So if you've not seen that, please take a little look at that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some shunting with this. I am going to cheat a little bit because I'm going to run these two wagons out by hand into there. I have no problem with the hand of God, as people that watch me frequently will know. So we're going to run this out, and then we're going to use our card system, and we're going to do a little bit of shunting. Now, the interesting thing here is, of course, these will have to be a mixed passenger goods because I need to leave the coach attached to the locomotive. However, it has to be said, that was very common in real life, very annoying for the passengers. But there you go. And I'm going to use a card system. Interesting, in America now, they're still having the problem that because passengers out there, passenger trains, bar from the suburban services, the Amtrak stuff is not a priority. So they often find themselves sat in sidings waiting for the freight trains to go through. And when your freight train's 4 kilometres long and takes 45 minutes to pass, that's a big delay. So my passengers will have been dropped off at the station. They've got to wait patiently while we do some shunting. So I have the 5 cards. I'm simply going to pick 3. And we need to get them in order. And I've quite taken the suggestion from the young man at the Shunting show, which is to shunt from this end and not the other end of the siding. Especially as in this case, what I want to do is shunt some wagons into the siding and then carry on running round. Now this loco and coaches were really important. It did come with 2 coaches, but I've taken one off so I can shunt. I saw this advertised, old-fashioned advertising in Continental Modeler some years ago. At that time, this was ridiculous. It was about £50. So I went and got one. Long story, unfortunately, from Japan, and I got stung for the import duty and everything. Please don't tell me you don't get stung under 130, because I did. But it still made it very cheap. And then obviously I discovered train tracks and that you could get this stuff cheaper. Anyway, it's a wonderful little loco, and this is where the whole N-Gage journey started, because it was just too much fun. And then I got this, which was a steeple cab loco. I only paid £30 new for it because it had American couplings, and Doug was able to change it for Arnold couplings for me. And that's where the whole N thing has come from. So we want that wagon here. So relatively simple. Going to take these off. No need to worry. This was a basic layout, so I didn't worry about motorising or wiring tubing the points. I can reach them quite easily with my hand. If I was to remake the layout, yes, I would do them wiring tube, because that's what I prefer now. But it was made before I discovered those. And then I want the empty one. So this is quite a good random pick, actually, to demonstrate shunting with a card system. Because actually what we're going to do is take that one off and put it on here like that. This is just an old paintbrush, painted bright colours so I can find it easily, and for when I was exhibiting, and a paper clip bent. Actually, no, it isn't. It's florist's wire bent, and the end painted white just to make it easier to see. You'll have seen my discussions if you know. I'm quite happy using the hand of God to uncouple. It is, after all, a recreation of what they did in real life. I find it quick and simple with Arnold couplings, despite what some people say. I originally gave up on N-Gage because people told me you couldn't shunt and uncouple with it, and of course they were wrong. You can, it just takes a little practice. It's no more unreliable than all the various magnetic systems I've seen. Everybody that's tried to show me how great their magnetic system is, it's then become unreliable, and it's certainly no more reliable than this. So there we go, I've got my little consist and I can run around. And this is why I like this micro layout, because I can shunt and I can watch trains go around. It also gives you a longer head shunt and a longer main line, which means that shunting you're not going to get stuck and you can't do anything with the consist. And like this, where I'm shuffling the cards to get 3 new ones, the train can run round. Unlike I say in Inglenook, where it just has to stop. So we'll do one more. The noise, if you can hear it in the background, is Douglas's home. And he's busy CNCing something for his BattleBot project. So he's into CNC printing at the moment. It is quite noisy. He's trying to persuade me that he needs a laser or plasma cutter, which are thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. He'll have to wait till he's working and buy it himself. What terrible parents we are. There we go. He's actually been a very good lad. He's all his various projects have been funded through doing things like YouTube, and now he gets a lot of the machinery donated for reviews. So he's actually not been too expensive. But don't tell him that. Don't tell him that. He never watches these videos. Doesn't watch his old man's videos. I think he watches them for a few seconds and clicks like, and that's about it. So I can say what I like about him in the safe knowledge that he'll never find out. So there we go. I just love this layout. It's ridiculously compact. It's under 2 foot by a foot. I love the look of it. It's got all the autumn going on. It's got a lovely little station over the back. If you want more details, have a look at the previous videos where I show a bit more about it. I'm just going to try and move the camera angle a bit. And I can do this. I can sit and I can shunt on it quite happily. And I can do it with steam trains. So people that complain I don't do steam trains, there you go. You've got a 10-minute video on steam trains running. And these are very reliable, very nice runners. And so long as I don't mind having that there, because I've got a long head shunt and a long passing loop, I can sit and shunt quite happily. We'll do one more, shall we? What do you think? Shall we do one more? There we go. So we want this one first. So what we're going to do, in fact, is take that off. Now, there's always more than one way of doing these things in any order. I do know, I always find it quite amusing when people message me and say, oh, well, in move 4, it would have been much quicker to take wagon, the brown wagon, and put it in front. Yeah, I'm really not interested. The whole point of this, really, is that you just do it whichever way you want. But I do think the reason I've done 2 exhibition layouts now where I've tried to let people have a go at shunting is to say, look, shunting is a really important, a really enjoyable part of model railways. However you want to do it, whether you want to spot things into particular sidings or whether you want to use a card system. And in N-gauge, it's particularly nice because you've got so much scenery to look at while you're shunting. It's not like double O where you tend to find yourself crammed into a little space, unless you've got a huge layout. These are the Kato wagons that come with the pocket line sets, and they are particularly good runners. And that's just an ordinary Kato wagon at the back. They're all on metal wheels. They all run very smoothly. They all run around these very tight curves. I'm just going to move that a little bit. Destroy everything down this. You have to bear with me, I'm afraid. I could have paused it there, actually would have been better. But that just gives you a better look at the layout. Over the back here, we have a Ford Angular. Must be from the UK. Pulling his caravan on holiday while a Citroen 2CV waits for the crossing. I like the Ford Anglia. Not anything to do with Harry Potter fan. My dad had them when I was a kid. And who can forget the flip out windows? Letting in almost no air when you were car sick because of the rough ride. And listening to dodgy radio channels that kept cutting out, of course, because the radios were awful. And if you're really clever, getting your fingers caught in the windows. We knew how to live in those days. He had Ford Anglia. My uncle had a Morris Minor estate, Traveller, which was equally good fun. And all sorts of cars. So there we go. Steam trains running for my steam train fans. And I'm going to stick with the steam trains for a little while, although it's electrified, catenary. Now I've got my steam trains out, we're going to sit and use them a little bit and have some fun running trains. And it's just a very therapeutic layout. I've spoken before, and as have a number of people, about how relaxing it is just watching trains go around or shunting, and I can do both on this. I've got a cute little station over the back there. I've got a nice level crossing, goods yard, tunnel mouth. It's all here. Can actually hold the train here if I want to hold some wagons while I run the passenger train. So a lot of layout there in a small space. So if you're one of those people, I don't have room for a model railway, wrong. You do. You really do. Just think a little bit smaller, which was another layout I did recently, another video. Keep things simple, think small, don't overcomplicate it, and enjoy running your model trains. So there we go. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. And we'll have another video soon. I might try and get a Tutorial Tuesday out this week if you've not seen those. Please, if you enjoy what I do, please spread the word, okay? I'm not sure how you get external views on YouTube. I used to get them a lot, which used to get me a lot of views. It seems to have died, but I'm guessing it means people share it. So if you like what we do, please share the video, use your social media, let people know that there's a video out there. I know quite a lot of you now watch to the end, which is really nice. I think what I do here at Budget Model Railways about keeping things simple and cheaper is probably really important in these difficult times. And particularly trying to say to people, yes, you can have a model railway. You don't need a lot of space. You don't need a lot of budget. And something I'm going to talk about in a future video is this layout, I believe, looks really nice, but it isn't really difficult to make. it's actually really simple to make a nice model railway. You look at model railways and they give the impression, of course they give the impression it's really difficult and skillful. They want everybody to feel how wonderful they are when they make their wonderful layouts that look blade of grass perfect close up. Firstly, no layout needs to look good better than a foot away, because that's how far away we look. And actually, despite what they might try and tell you, it's not difficult. This is ready mix filler, painted, washed. The grass is painted green and I slap whatever ballast down I've got. Road is painted cardboard. It's not difficult, folks, to get a really nice looking layout. Ballasting is not, it's a pain in the arse, but it's not difficult. Anybody could do it. I've got videos on how to do it. So don't be put off. Don't look at this layout, think that's a really nice layout. I could never have something like that. Yes, you can. It's really simple. It really is. So have a go. And speak to you again soon.